welcome back. So, we were discussing Borel sets, right. We are beginning to discuss Borel sets, Borel sigma algebra. Right. So, we said that, so we were looking at the 0 1 interval. I took omega equal to 0 1. So, why I took open here and closed here, we will do not worry about it so much. So, at this point, so I took this uncountable sample space omega equal to 0 1, and I so one thing I said is that if you consider all possible subsets of omega, it is too complicated, too large a sigma algebra to assign even a uniform probability measure on, right. Remember that it is an impossibility result. So, we started out saying that we cannot do with such a large sigma algebra 2 power omega. So, we need to settle for a simpler, smaller sigma algebra, right. The so, we said that the sets are of interest to us are in fact the open intervals, right. So, we wanted to keep intervals as being interesting, right, sub intervals of 0 1 being interesting. So, we said C naught is the collection of all open intervals contained in omega, right. So, I took this collection and then I said the sigma algebra generated by this open intervals is your Borel sigma algebra, all right. In other words, the Borel sigma algebra is the smallest sigma algebra containing all open intervals, right. So, if there is any sigma algebra on omega which contains the open intervals, the Borel sigma algebra is a sub sigma algebra of that, right. Is this clear? So, now and elements of so this is denoted by scripted B, right, because it is a collection of subsets, and we have to, so and elements of this B are called Borel sets, okay, it is as simple as that. So, what is a Borel set? It is an element of the Borel sigma algebra, and the Borel sigma algebra is the sigma algebra generated by open intervals on 0 1, okay. Now, this Borel sigma algebra is, it turns out that it is not 2 power omega, it is a much smaller sigma algebra than the collection of all subsets of 0 1, which means there are subsets of 0 1 which are not Borel sets, right. In fact, what can be shown is it has been proven that the set of all Borel sets, there are only as many Borel sets as there are real numbers, or it has the same cardinality as that of the continuum, okay, whereas 2 power omega has a strictly bigger cardinality, right. So, it is a fairly small sigma algebra, this Borel sigma algebra, but on the other hand what is nice about it is that it contains practically all sets which are of interest to us. In particular, it contains intervals of course, but it contains also many bizarre sets, many interesting sets are included in the Borel sigma algebra. Although the Borel sigma algebra is a much smaller sigma algebra than 2 power omega, it will be very difficult for you to think of a set which is not a Borel set. There exist such sets, right, there are lots of sets of subsets of 0 1 which are not Borel sets, but anything that you and I can normally construct is likely to be a Borel set, okay. So, its non Borel sets are very bizarre, okay, they are very they are only of academic interest by and large, all right. So, anything like this, so one thing we will prove immediately, we will prove that the singleton set, the set only containing one real number in 0 1 is a Borel set, okay. So, let us prove this proposition. Let B be in omega. So, B is in 0 1, then the singleton B is a Borel set, Borel measurable set or Borel set. So, how do you prove that some set is a Borel set? See the Borel sigma algebra is generated by open intervals in omega. So, the one thing you know for sure is that all open intervals are definitely Borel, right. And what else? So, what else if you want to prove that some other set is some set which is not an open interval is a Borel set, what do you want to prove? What do you have to prove? It should be either it should be expressible in terms of either complements or countable unions or countable intersections of the generating class, which is the open intervals, right. So, if I have to show that the singleton set is not an open interval, right, it just has that one point b, right. So, I am looking at this 0 1 interval and I am taking some point b, right. This is the singleton set containing that b alone is my set. So, and I want to prove that is Borel, right. And the way to do that is somehow express this singleton as a either a complement or countable union or countable intersection of open intervals, right, which is the generating class, correct. So, there is a standard way of doing that. Let me do this correctly. So, you can write the singleton b, you can verify this. You can write the singleton b as intersection n equal to 1 to infinity b minus 1 over n open interval b plus 1 b minus 1 over n b plus 1 over n. Okay. So, you buy that. So, I am saying that this set is equal to that set, which means I have to prove b is contained in this intersection and nothing else is contained in this intersection, correct. So, in each of these open intervals b is certainly contained, right. So, the intersection certainly contains the element b, that is very clear. So, if you want to prove that no other element, let us say some other element h is not contained in this intersection. So, you will write h, so you will, if b is different from h, you will at some point n will become so large that b plus 1 by n will exclude that h, right. If even if h and b are very close together, at some point n will become large enough to exclude that h, right, and therefore, you can prove that no other element is contained in this intersection. So, there is one little thing I have so this you will buy, I think, right. So, are you okay with this intersection? Any questions on this? Just think about it, it is not so difficult, you just have these are standard things you should get used to doing. Okay. So, the one little problem here is if I do, let us say I take n equal to 1. So, this interval will be b minus 1 to b plus 1, right, and this may go outside omega, right. So, just to be certain I will intersect all these guys with. So, now these are all subsets of omega which are all, so they are all intersections of, so I am omega is definitely Borel, because say the subset has to be in the sigma, the sample space has to be in the sigma algebra, and these guys are all intersecting generating class open intervals with omega this. So, this whole thing is Borel measurable, right, and therefore, countable intersections of these Borel measurable sets are in fact Borel measurable. Question.
When n is infinity.
So, no. So, this intersection, so I want to make this perfectly clear, this is not a limiting operation, I have said this many times, right. So, this is not to be understood as a limit of a finite union, right. This consists of all those elements which are contained in each one of these sets, right. You are not limiting n to infinity, or you are not taking a finite intersection and limiting n, it is not what you are doing, right. You are considering this sequence of sets, you can call it bn or whatever you want, right, and you are considering those elements which are common to each of these bn's, and the claim is that the only such element is little b. Okay. All open intervals which are contained in 0 1. No. So, I am taking C naught, so that is only for probability measure, that is, but you want to have closure under all countable unions or intersections, and I am taking the generating class to be all open intervals contained in 0 1.
Okay. Take 0 to 0.5 and 0.5
No, all C naught contains all those open intervals which are subsets of 0 1, that is it, all of them.
Can you please say once again how you said that as Borel set?
Okay, so I am saying that, see, there are two cases, right. So, the you understood why I intersected with omega, because if my n is very small like 1 or something, this set may actually be bigger than omega. So, I just want to talk about subsets of omega. So, I am just intersecting with omega whenever my set is, whenever this guy is going outside my sample space, that is just a hack. Okay, but otherwise these guys are subsets of open intervals in 0 1, they are all Borel sets, correct. So, if you intersect it with omega also, you will get a Borel set, right. By definition omega is Borel measurable, is not it. So, this intersection, that is a Borel set, and I have a countable intersection of Borel sets, must be a Borel set, right, because it is a sigma algebra, right. So, I have expressed my singleton as a countable intersection of sets which are certainly Borel sets, and since the Borel sigma algebra is a sigma algebra, I have to, this must be a element of the sigma algebra, and therefore, the singleton is Borel. Okay. All right, is this clear? So, next, so the next question is so if from this you can so for example, you can next prove that, so proposition you can prove that A B, a set like that, right, where A and B are both contained in, so this where this interval is contained in 0 1 is a F measurable set. So, is A B closed A B closed A open on that side are Borel sets. Why? See, I only said that, see, open interval A B is a Borel set by construction, but I can write. So, if you want to prove that that is a Borel set, what would you do? You can simply, so I have proven that the singleton is Borel. So, I can write this as open interval A B union singleton B. So, it is a union of two Borel sets, is a Borel set, and similarly this and this. Or if you want to do it from first principles, you can still do it, right. You can write A comma B, let me do this correctly, is equal to intersection n equal to 1 to infinity A comma B plus 1 by n open, right. So, you can do that trick also if you want to do it from first principles. These are all Borel sets because they are all open intervals, but the intersection, what will happen is B will be included in all of them, but nothing beyond B will be included. You can prove that again, correct. Of course, I have to intersect with omega, right, just to be sure that B plus 1 does not go outside omega, right. So, this is a standard trick. Is this clear? Or of course, you can just take union of singleton with open interval A B, that is also fine, right. So, you have, so all these intervals are now Borel sets, right, and anything which is a countable union of these, any of these intervals, or countable intersections of any of these intervals, complements of any of these intervals, they are all Borel sets. In fact, the Borel sigma algebra also contains some fairly complicated sets. Okay. So, we remember we encountered Cantor set, right. So, the Cantor set, so we defined it as the set of all subsets of 0 1, set of all numbers in 0 1 whose ternary expansion can be written without a 1 in it, right, only zeros and 2s, right. So, another way to, a more geometric way of looking at it is to, you start with this guy. So, you start with this 0 1 interval, okay, and then you will take the mid open third and remove it. Okay. In fact, you can show that all numbers here have start with the first trit, the first ternary bit or whatever is will be a 1, and these guys will have 0, these guys will have 2, right. So, this you knock off. Okay. So, you will be left with only 0 1 by 3 and Yeah, actually you have to, I mean Cantor set is defined on the closed interval 0 1, but it's not such a, I mean it's not such a big deal. And then you will do the same thing again, right? You will knock off the middle third of those, all right, knock those off, and you keep that, right, and then you keep doing this, right, again knock off the mid third of this, mid third of this, mid third of this, mid third of this, and so on, right. So, you are successively removing open intervals, right, and the Cantor set K is the set of points that remains, all right, that is the equivalent geometric way of looking at it, right. You can, so this Cantor set contains, it will not be empty, okay. So, it is not like you remove everything at some point, right. It has, for example, you can show that 1 by 4 is a element of Cantor set, it is not an empty set. In fact, we showed that the Cantor set is, it has infinitely many points, it has uncountably, it is an uncountable infinity of points on 0 1, correct, because it is in bijection with 0 1 power infinity, right. Good. So, this is so that is the Cantor set. Now, this Cantor set is a fairly complicated set, right, it has a certain interesting property of a fractal self similar nature. So, no matter how much you zoom into the Cantor set, it will look the same, it will have this structure that middle third will be missing, right, no matter how much you zoom in, it will have this middle third missing and these two intervals, and you zoom in further, it will have the same structure, right. So, this has a certain fractal structure. So, it is a very interesting and somewhat complicated set on the 0 1 interval, right. It does not have any simple structure as an interval or anything, it is a very complicated scattering of points, right. In fact, you can show that the Cantor set does not contain any interval, right, because you will chop the middle third if it did, right. Okay, so, this Cantor set is in fact a Borel set, okay. You will prove that in your homework. How will you prove that? Yeah, so you have to prove that either this Cantor set is can be expressed as a countable union or intersection of any of these intervals. Actually, if you look at it, it is actually fairly simple. The complement of the Cantor set, which is the set of all things that you remove, right, that is a countable union of open intervals, because in the first stage I knock off that open interval, second stage I knock off 2 open intervals, and so on, right. So, the complement of the Cantor set K, if you Cantor set is K, the complement of K complement will be a countable union of, so countable union of open intervals, which you know to be Borel. So, K complement is Borel, so K is Borel, okay. So, that is how you argue these things, okay. So, even fairly not just intervals, it also contains certain fairly complicated subsets of the 0 1 interval, Cantor set being one example, right. In fact, in order to construct, I said there are subsets of many subsets of 0 1 exist which are not Borel, right. So, in order to construct such a set, you have to work very hard, okay. It is very difficult for you to think of a set which is not a Borel set, but they exist, okay. Actually, so if you want, you can look at there are examples of, so let me, so extra reading, so I will just mention a few resources. So, this is not, so I am just putting it as extra reading just for your curiosity. So, this is by no means something that I will hold you accountable for, okay. So, this extra reading, so I will first put non Borel sets, right, certain, the most famous example is in terms of a continued fraction, okay. There is a certain set of continued fractions, you can actually look it up on Wikipedia, right, just search Wikipedia for non Borel sets, it has a certain example of a certain collection of continued fractions, and the set you can show it to be non Borel, okay. And there is an example of a so just going a little bit more crazy, there is a set called a Vitali set, okay, which is non measurable, which I mean this is not really immediately relevant to us, but this is also a very crazy set on which you can assign no measure to this set, okay. It is an example of a non measurable set, So, this is a non-Borel set, this is a non-measurable set, and finally, while talking about these crazy sets, probably the one of the craziest of all is given by this paradox called Banach-Tarski paradox. Okay. This Banach-Tarski paradox is a very bizarre paradox, where you take a sphere, alright, just a 3 sphere, and then what you can do is you can divide up the surface of the sphere into some, let us say 5 parts, in fact 5 is enough, and you can reassemble these 5 parts to form 2 such spheres of the same size. It is possible. It seems very bizarre, right. I mean, you have a sphere of certain surface area and you break it up into, let us say 5 parts, and those 5 parts you can reassemble back so as to get 2 spheres of the same size. Okay. The reason all this is happening is because of this bizarre sets called non-measurable sets. Okay. There is, I have in the notes that I have uploaded, there is a link to this Banach-Tarski. Okay. This is a very bizarre phenomenon, alright. So, this is all stuff that you will not be accountable for, but it certainly will find interesting. Okay. There are some really bizarre subsets of 0 1 or the surface of the sphere, and they are not these nice sets. Okay. They are all these non-measurable sets, okay, to which you cannot assign any measure like length or area or probability or any such thing, right. So, if these sets were in fact measurable, then you would end up with a contradiction, right. How can you have the same surface area doubling, right. I mean, some people, I mean, think of this being a gold ball, right. You can generate 2 gold balls with it, right. So, that is the most an appealing way of proposing this paradox, I guess, right. It is all very bizarre because these pieces are very weird scattering of points which are non measurable. Okay. So, these things happen. Okay. So, that is for your own edification. Okay. So, but I hope you understand these Borel sets, right. So, what did we say? Borel sets, they include all intervals and countable unions, countable intersections and complements of intervals. They also include certain complicated sets like the Cantor set, alright, and it also, I mean, pretty much any set you can reasonably think of without working too hard is very likely to be a Borel set. Okay. That is, so it contains all sets of practical interest to us, right. So, if you want to construct a non Borel set, you have to work very hard to construct one. Okay. Okay, is this clear? Okay. So, this is the Borel sigma algebra, which is a very small manageable sigma algebra on the 0 1 interval, but which nevertheless contains most sets of practical interest, right. So, our measurable space from now on will be what? Omega comma b, right. I will only take, so omega is this guy and I will take, so measurable space that I will take from now on is omega b 0 1. Okay. When the context is clear, I will not write b 0 1, right. When the context is not clear, I will write what Borel sigma algebra is. Okay. So, so we started off, so we have come up with a measurable space omega and a sigma algebra on omega, which is a smaller sigma algebra than 2 power omega, but it nevertheless contains lots of interesting sets like my intervals and countable unions and countable intersections thereof, right. So, now my aim, so what is the initial aim we started out with? I want to assign a uniform probability measure on 0 1. I said I could not do it on 2 power omega. So, I settled for a smaller sigma algebra, I just kept the intervals and generated a sigma algebra with those intervals, and that I ended up with B as my sigma algebra. Now, the question is, can I assign a uniform measure on this Borel sigma algebra only on Borel sets, right. So, essentially if the answer is yes, you can do it. Okay. Now, it is a smaller sigma algebra and I can assign a uniform probability measure on omega b. So, I will assign probability measures to only Borel sets, So, there are many subsets of 0 1 like all these crazy set Vitali and non Borel sets, right. Those guys I will not assign any probability measure to. Okay. I will only worry about Borel sets, right. So, under the measure that I am uniform measure I am going to put, only Borel sets will have a concept of a length or any probability measure on it for that matter, right. Non Borel sets you cannot ask me what probability it is or what length it is, it is meaningless to speak of the thing, just like it is meaningless to speak of the area of these guys, right. Okay.